Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Ready for a classic tale of murder, greed, and genius detection. Today we dive into what Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself called his favorite Sherlock Holmes story, The Adventure of the Speckled Band. We're talking exotic animals, a violent stepfather, a secret inheritance plot, and a killer weapon unlike anything Holmes has ever faced. Hit that like button, get comfortable, and let's find out what the Speckled Band really is. In the misty streets of London, where the morning fog clung to the cobblestones and horse carriages rattled in the distance, a sudden desperate knock echoed at 221B Baker Street, breaking the quiet of Holmes's sitting room. Softly, Dr. Watson rose and opened the door to find a pale, trembling young woman, her hands shaking and eyes wide with fear. "My name is Helen Stoner," she said, her voice quivering, "and I'm in terrible danger. I fear I will be murdered just as my sister Julia was." Holmes leaned forward, intrigued. "Tell us everything, Miss Stoner," he said, voice calm but sharp. Helen took a deep breath and began. 2 years ago, her twin sister Julia had been mysteriously engaged and then found dead just 2 weeks before her wedding. On the night of her death, she had suddenly awakened, hearing strange whistling sounds in the darkness. She had screamed in terror, calling Helen's name, and then collapsed, whispering her last chilling words. It was the Speckled Band. Whispers. No one understood what those words meant. The police found no evidence, and her stepfather, Dr. Grimesby Roylott, a tall, fierce man with wild yellow eyes and a violent temper, had returned from India, bringing with him exotic and dangerous animals, including a cheetah and a baboon. Helen's voice shaking. "Now I'm about to be married," she said, "and he has moved me into my sister's old room. Last night I heard that same strange whistle in the middle of the night, and I fear for my life," Holmes said sharply. "Watson, we must leave for Stoke Moran immediately." "This is no ordinary threat." Narrator, ominous tone. That evening they arrived at Stoke Moran, a gloomy, decaying mansion under a stormy sky. The house exuded a sense of dread. Its walls were cracked, its windows barred like prison cells, and a wild garden surrounded it like a cage. Inside Julia's old room, Holmes inspected every detail. The bed was fastened to the floor with heavy screws, the bell rope hung beside the bed, but led to nothing, and a small ventilator opened directly into Dr. Roylott's adjoining room. Holmes muttered, "It is clear what is happening here. He is using the ventilator to send something deadly into the room, down the bell rope. But we will wait and see," Watson whispered. "A snake, perhaps?" Holmes nodded grimly. "A deadly snake from India, trained to kill. We must be vigilant tonight, narrator." As the clock struck midnight, Holmes and Watson lay hidden in the shadows, barely breathing, waiting for the unseen killer. Minutes stretched into eternity until a faint, eerie whistle broke the silence. Watson whispered, "Holmes?" "Did you hear that?" Holmes hissed. "Steady. Wait for it." Suddenly, from the ventilator, a slender, glistening snake slid down the bell rope toward the bed, the speckled band itself, its scales marked like jewels of death. Holmes struck swiftly with his cane. "Back, you devil!" The snake hissed and recoiled, retreating through the vent. Sudden scream. A horrifying scream erupted from Dr. Roylott's room. Holmes and Watson rushed in to find the stepfather sprawled lifeless, the same snake coiled tightly around his neck. Watson exclaimed, "He's dead!" The snake turned on him. Holmes, quietly but firmly, "Yes, Watson. He had trained it to murder Julia and intended the same for Helen. He sent it through the ventilator, down the rope, rewarded it with milk, and controlled it with a whistle. But tonight his own weapon became his doom." Narrator. Softly. In the quiet aftermath, Helen looked on in shock and relief, trembling but alive. Holmes turned to her, explaining every detail carefully. Holmes said, "Your stepfather was a cruel man, Miss Stoner. He had everything planned. He killed Julia to secure his inheritance and intended to do the same to you. The bell rope, the ventilator, and the fixed bed were all part of his design to deliver the deadly swamp adder from India directly to your bed while making it seem like an accident." Helen whispered, terrified. "But how did you know, Holmes?" Holmes calmly, observing every detail. The bell rope led to nowhere, the ventilator opened into his room, and the bed could not be moved. Only a trained snake could travel unseen and return at a whistle. We waited, and tonight his plan failed. Justice, though silent, was served, Watson added. "It is a grim reminder, Holmes, that the most dangerous evildoers sometimes fall into the traps they set for others." Holmes nodded. "Indeed, Watson, violence always recoils upon the violent, and the schemer inevitably falls into the pit he digs for another." Narrator, gentle conclusion. And so ended the haunting mystery of the Speckled Band, where fear, cunning, and a deadly serpent intertwined to teach a lesson of poetic justice, leaving Helen safe, the villain punished, and Holmes once again victorious through observation, deduction, and unflinching courage.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more amazing stories and content.